and he would grow in Pharaoh's house. Moses would be somewhat like we see in the inner cities, in the lower economic areas of the country, whether in the urban areas, the ghettos, or the inner cities, or even in the country rural areas in the South or wherever you may be. You may be living in the projects in the hood, or you could be living in a double wide in Griffin, Georgia, friend. It's not bound, you're not bound to an ethnic group that suffers economically in this world. There's white folk and black folk both poor. What we find is that, in all races in between, what we find is that Moses, like many of us, will grow in a family where one side of the family may be a little well off, or he's exposed to a higher degree of living than another side of the family is exposed to. He knows how to interact in Pharaoh's house. He's comfortable interacting amongst all of the dignitaries and the high thinkers of Pharaoh's house. He's comfortable in moving in the spiritual systems that are conducive to running the society of Egypt, which was a highly spiritual society. Yet he's also comfortable dealing with the impoverished, his real family, who lived in the lower communities. He knows what holidays are like in the higher end, the upper echelon. And he knows how they get in the lower end. And he can function in both places fluidly. This is Moses. He knows what it's like to be hunted all of his life. Him growing in Pharaoh's house did not exempt him from the experiences that those of his culture experienced. He experienced them regardless. In fact, he had a heightened experience with them, because now he's thrust in an environment where he is the minority, surrounded by the majority. And everybody's smiling. He does not know who the true enemy is. He's grown up around this. He's used to these smiles. And while in Pharaoh's house, he sees that after he gets to a certain age and he goes to the community of his mother in the lower end of Egypt, that they tell him the background story of his birth. They lay it all out on the line for him. And on one hand, he's indebted to the Egyptians, and he's saying, I'm so thankful for the love that they have shown me. The woman that acted as my mother, Pharaoh's daughter, I love her. He must have loved her. She was good to him. But he can also trace times when those that would come upon the kingdom with harmful ideas toward him. You see, when Moses was a baby, before he was even able to say hello or hi or yes or no or I'm hungry or I got a potty, before he was even able to speak for himself, these people, these priests in Egypt were plotting on him. They saw him as an internal threat. They didn't see him as a baby, an innocent. They saw him as someone that a mole. You remember the TV show The Mole? They saw Moses as the mole, as someone that they needed to watch closely, because they could not tell what was going on internally with him. They were so fearful of these people in general. And now you have one that comes amongst us, the Pharaoh's daughter, that she has had since he was a baby, days old. And now he's growing up amongst us. He knows all of our children. He knows nothing but this. And the love that God has over him is undeniable, because who would have thought, one moment, because who would have thought that he would even made it into this kingdom? This is nothing but an act of God. Who would have thought? Moses grows. And like I said, they were plotting on Moses since he was a baby. Literally. And he goes and he's a teen.